Welcome back to another Minetest mod review. Today we are looking at the Baked Clay Edition mod. And this mod adds a bunch of different shades of colors of baked clay. So, like normal baked clay, let me just pop some of this out here. You can't break it by hand. That looks delectably like bubblegum. I suppose it's only delectably if you like bubblegum, but that's besides the point. A whole bunch of different colors. You can't break them by hand. Break them with a pickaxe. You know, build beautiful pixel art. Yeah, this is my beautiful pixel art. Amazing, isn't it? Let's dive into how we do this. So the Baked Clay Editions mod actually depends on another mod called Colorizer, made by the same individual, and that is essentially if you're playing in a non-creative setting where you actually have to craft the nodes, you'll need this machine to craft them. So we have a colorizer machine which uses a simple integrated circuit from basic materials and steel ingots, and then we need ink cartridges, which, with the exception of the white ink cartridge, this is what you would find in a standard printer. You have your CMYK, because that's how subtractive colors work. I believe that's subtractive, right? Additive is light. I am not a physicist. Would a physicist be a person who knows about light? I'm not sure. Anyway, you'll need an empty ink cartridge first, which also uses some materials from basic materials. Actually, everything here is from basic materials. And once you have an empty cartridge, you can craft that into a cartridge with ink by using dye and the empty cartridge. So I'm going to actually go ahead and give myself one of each of these. Oh, you know what? That's not even... Give myself a bunch of empty ink cartridges. That's going to do us a lot of good in the next step. So I'm going to go ahead and grab these cartridges. Sweet sauce. And then we're going to go ahead and click on this very nondescript looking node, which actually doesn't even give you a hover text, info text. So you might not even know that's what it is. And this is our little input we see here. So we have this list, which I gotta say, this is kind of genius how this is done here, with all of our ink cartridges. So we have yellow, which is only at 6.25%. So I will go ahead and put a full one in. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't show like a progress bar or anything to let us know this is only 6% filled with ink, but it is what it is. We'll go ahead and fill these up. Also, that is some very high decimal point precision going on there. These can all be refilled, actually, by just, well, actually, I can't do it that way. Yeah, I can. Put a black cartridge in, and actually, I think, yeah, it's even in the recipe for it. So you just, if you have one that's not full, you can refill it just by putting in a piece of the appropriately colored dye to refill it. So let's get on to the actual making of the clay. So we can pop clay in our input slot here. I'm not positive how baked clay works if you have to dye it before you bake it, but in this case you're just using default clay as your input, and then you have a beautiful drop down list here with a whole bunch, and it could be a whole bunch more. And I will explain once I get back up to the top and start the beautiful rainbow of colors. So by default, this sets to 64 shades per node, but you can also change it from, I believe 6 was the lowest, up to 289. There's only certain values you can use between those points, but yeah, I set it to 289 just for lulz to see what would happen. And Unified Inventory reported 350 pages of inventory, because not only do we get a full cube in each color, but we also have an ability to get slabs and stairs. And I had slabs and stairs turned on. So right now this is at 64 colors, or 64 hues rather. Shades, hues? Probably shades per hue, right? I think that's the correct terminology. 64 shades per hue. So as you can see, there's a lot. I can't even call this a gripe because this is how computers work. So I can't even complain about it. Yeah, right here. So we have golden yellow 1, right? And that makes sense. And then you think, oh, well, 2 should be next, right? Well, no, because to a computer, 10 is the next thing numerically after 1. Because computers don't understand numbers. So then after 19, because it's going in alphabetical order, 1, well, 1, 0 would come after 1 because 0 comes before 2 and before or after space, whatever. So as you go through this, you get 19, then you get 2, and then you get all of your 20s, and then you get 3, and then you get all your 30s. The only way to combat that would have been to internally name the numbers with preceding zeros, but that would break every existing thing with them. So it's kind of difficult to implement after the fact. Anyway, to take them out, we just click them and grab them. And you'll notice we're losing inputs here. Well, we're not really losing them because we're converting them. And our ink levels change, which this is using a lot of white and cyan, cyan, however you want to pronounce it. I've never heard anybody call it cyan in my entire life. But if that's the way you want to pronounce it, knock yourself out. Come on, here we go. We got some like extremely high decimal point precision going on here. That's pretty crazy accurate. If only real printers could tell you that closely. It's like, oh, it's empty. And you take your ink cartridge out and it looks like it's still half full. It's a scam, I tell you, man. Additionally, you can do the old shift click. I am out of ink, and if I had chat turned on, I would be getting a helpful chat message telling me, please check ink levels. And then I would just have to manually go through and say, oh, it looks like I'm out of white. That white only had 25%, but you know what? That's okay. So you can either do shift click or you can shift and scroll with the mouse wheel, and that will pull them from the output to inventory. I will mention this. Oh, wait. Is that fixed? Did I actually code it right? No, something just disappeared. Or was that just multiple stacks of the same thing? I'm confoozled. Okay, well, I wrote the code, I think it's 2 lines, to do the list strings, or list rings, that's what they're called. And that's basically what lets you shift click things in and out. And I thought it was broke, but maybe not. So you can, oh yeah, by the way, you can cheat. This is kind of, yeah, it shouldn't work this way. But you can get free stuff without clay. It's kind of super annoying, but hey man, you can't do it. So you see how it won't let me take it now? So then you check my ink levels. Well, if I pull my clay out, now I can grab it. This is a bug. It'll probably be fixed at some point, but I couldn't tell you when. Also, it's not costing me clay to do this. But you see, I do have to open the drop down every time to repopulate that field. So, you know, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Oh no, and now I lost it. I'm gonna have to go with some other color that doesn't match. Oh, but you know what? I got a whole bunch of these, so it doesn't matter. So that's essentially how that works. And we can actually see that it's throwing an error. It's something to index a nil value, but I don't know what that error is actually related to. If that has something to do with us taking stuff that we don't that we don't have ink for. But that's besides the point. Let's go ahead and check out some of our crafts. So standard slab craft, standard inside stair. Was that an inside stair or would that have been an outside? Whichever side stair that was. And then is this the other? What's the other one? Is it okay, so that makes the outer. how do we make an inner? Somehow you can make an inner stair. Does it have to be on the top? Okay. I guess we'll just find out this way. Oh, okay. Yeah, I would not have thought that. So you have all your standard stairs, as you can see here. We have 83 pages of inventory. And in here as well, the coloring is, you know, it's kind of screwed up. So we have 1, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 19, and then we have 2 and then 20. So it doesn't really present itself in a beautiful cascade of shades, but it gives you an idea of, so it's 15.5 pages of just the solid nodes. And then, like I said, you have all of the different stair options and eventually the slab options. Those are all registered under the stairs mod, which is why they are separate from the rest of them here. And I do not have creative turned on, which means these would all be showing up because, well, they have crafts. So I think if they were put to the not in creative inventory, they wouldn't show up, even though they do have crafts. But I'm not positive. Don't quote me on that. But you could try it yourself if you were like, yes, we realize that to make any of a slab, and actually this is turning the slabs back, that we do this. I don't need all of those showing up. But I don't know how you would actually go about writing that code. I don't know if you'd have to do that in the stairs mod or where piximactally it would be getting done. So that's that. This is this. Was there anything else that I needed to mention? Because the slabs are being registered via the stairs mod, the standard slab placement stuff should work. The whole point on the lower half of the node, place on the lower half, upper half. We don't get any sort of stacking. I think, yep, if you place a slab up against a slab, it places the same direction, which is really nice because it makes it really easy to do wide things like that. Yeah, so that's just how the stairs mod works, so that's really not a part of this per se. You can only, oh wait, yeah, I can, okay, never mind. So the only thing you can dye is the clay. That'll give you available outputs, at least with this specific setup. It might be possible that there's other mods. I believe there is a stained glass add-on or additions or something mod by the same creator who it uses the same machine here, I'm assuming, and it takes a piece of glass and then gives you all the outputs for glass. But I think that's gonna wrap this one up. So this was the Baked Clays Edition mod for Minetest, obviously. Links are all on my website, as always. And yeah, it's gonna wrap it up. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.